let me say this. Our business, guys, is not about the X's and O's that you saw today. What Steven Johnson and Bob Ruff talked to us and Tasha, those things are crucial to us being successful. We cannot be successful without those things. But more importantly, our business is about right here. This business is different than anything else you could ever do in your life. Jim Carlicchio exuded what this business was about with his love and his heart and his courage, okay? And the business, and to be successful in this business, it's about more than understanding the products and understanding the pricing. It's about the kind of person that we are inside and what the core values we live by. Now, I meet a lot of people. Do I got a clicker, guys, or somebody going to do it for me? Or? Okay, a number of years ago, when I first got in this business, it's kind of funny because people meet me and they go, oh, Bob, you're natural at this. Boy, you must have been born to do this. And some of you know this story, but I'll share it with those who don't. I didn't fail. I quit this business 3 times in the first 3 years I was in it. Literally quit and went back to doing what I used to do. I was afraid. I came in, I had a little bit of success, and then I got afraid. The snakes got in my head. I started telling myself that people aren't going to see me. They're not going to buy from me. How am I going to feed my family? And I ran because of fear back to what I knew. But here's what happens in this business. When this gets in your heart and you understand what is possible, you can't go back. You can't go back unless you can bury it. So I would go to seminars like this, and I would hear about books, and I'd get books, Magic of Thinking Big, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends, and I'd read them, and I'd read them, and I'd read them. And I remember at one time I read one, I was so angry. I was broke. I barely had the $13 to buy the damn book, but I bought it, and I'm reading it, and I'm in the first chapter, and I remember throwing the book in the garbage. And I go, what a crook, he just stole 13 bucks from me. It's the same as the last 4 books. They keep saying it's me. I got to have a better attitude. I got to change. I wanted the magic bullet. And one night I couldn't sleep. I was up really late, and this was when infomercials were just first coming out. It was back in the 80s. And Tony Robbins was on. He had just come out with his book, Unlimited Power, and I was sitting there watching, and I just got mesmerized by listening to this man. I went out in this book and bought this book, and it changed my life. And I can show you the book. I have it today. I read it. I've read it probably 10 times. I refer to it often. It's beat up. It's got coffee stains and probably jelly donut stains all through the whole thing, and it's written on. But this book changed my life. And I want to share a chapter from this book very quickly. I know everybody wants to get on the road. And the chapter is called The 7 Lies of Success. Now, before I start talking about this, let me explain. Life is about choices. And success is a choice. See, we make choices every single day when we get up in the morning. We make a choice if we're going to be mad at our wife because the toothpaste was there wasn't any toothpaste in the tube. We make a choice whether we're going to yell at the little girl or guy that's serving the coffee because the line was too long. Or do we get angry at the person who cut us off? We make a lot of choices that are very small, but we also make choices that are very, very big in our lives. And those choices will determine whether or not we are successful in life. Sadly enough, what I realized is some of the choices that I was making were not based on what I really wanted in my heart. They were based on the fears that I was consumed by and things that other people told me that had no bearing on my life. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to kind of talk to you about the 7 lies of success. Now, let me tell you why Tony calls them lies. You see, what I'm going to share with you, you might sit there and go, man, you're full of it, Fiacco. That's a bunch of hogwash. Well, you know what? If that's what you think, then it is a lie. But let me tell you this. If you choose to believe what I'm going to tell you, like I chose to believe it, it can change your life. But it's all about the choice you want to make about what you're going to hear now. Lie number 1, everything happens for a reason and a purpose, and it serves us. 50 years ago, I had to make a choice in my life. I didn't know I was making a choice, okay? I was born, some of you know this story, with what's called a congenital hip. I didn't have a hip socket. And my left leg was 3.5 inches shorter than my right leg. I was born in the 50s, so kids made fun of me. They stuck me out in the left field with no baseball glove. If I struck out, they beat me up. I mean, all the things you could imagine that would happen to someone, okay? I had to decide at that point in my life, was I going to go feel sorry for myself and go into a shell and say, well, woe is me, you know, why did this happen to me? Or was I going to try to do something else? So you know what happened? And God, I thank God every day that I had good parents, but I decided to not allow it to hold me back. Instead of kids who used to make fun of me, I used to make fun of myself first. So you know what? I became the jokester because I figured this out. If I made fun of myself in the way I walked, they wouldn't make fun of me anymore. So I was the funniest guy in the crowd. And let me say, I'm not telling you this because I want you to feel sorry for me, guys. Look at me. I rock, baby. I mean, I'm incredible. You can just look at me, okay? So it's not about that, guys. It's about a choice I had to make. You know, guys, I could very easily today be the guy standing in the fast food floor and sweeping the floor, talking to myself, had I made a different choice. And let me just tell you this. The 3 days after Thanksgiving, I tore my tendon in my leg, ripped it right from the bone. They had to drill holes in my kneecap and suture the tendons into my kneecap. 2 weeks ago, my dad died. I am struggling to be here today, okay? But I choose to believe that something good will come from the last 2 months of my life. And belief is seeing without is with knowing without seeing. And I choose to believe that although these two events that happened simultaneously have been very traumatic for me, that something good will happen from them, the light will come out. Everything happens for a reason and a purpose, and it serves us. There is no failure. Guys, in our business especially, we don't fail, guys. Let me tell you what we do. We quit. We quit. We give up. We don't fail. If you stay in this business and you show up every day, I don't care how many people don't buy from you. I don't care how many people say, come back next week. You thought you were going to have an enrollment. Call me a month from now. Call me 2 months from now. If you don't quit, you will not fail. We fail because we give up in life. That is the #1 reason. Kim talked about Yoda. When Rob was a little kid a long time ago, when I liked him, we used to love watching Star Wars. And if you ever remember, if you were a Star Wars fan, do you remember the one, The Empire Strikes Back? Luke Skywalker flew his X-Wing fighter to go find Yoda on I think Tatooine was the planet he had to go to, and he crash lands his X-Wing fighter into this bog, not my blog, a bog. It's a swamp, okay? And he learns from Yoda, okay, all the secrets of the Force, which is the energy inside of all of us. And so he's getting ready to leave, and he's got to get his ship out of this marsh. And he's straining to use the Force to get up, and he's falling back, and he hears Yoda say, use the Force, Luke. And Luke goes, I'm trying. And Yoda says this, there is no try, there is do or do not. Guys, that is the way it is in life. We either will do something or we will make a decision to quit doing it. If you are honest with yourself, and you think about it, everything you ever really, really, really wanted in your life, you either have it or are working to get it. Now, there were probably some things that you wanted that you decided it wasn't worth the price you had to pay, so you quit working for it. There is no failure. Whatever happens, take responsibility. Great leaders have an understanding that they are responsible for what happens in their life. They don't look for people to pass the blame to. I think so many times in this business, I've interviewed and talked to people that leave, and it's their manager, and it's the company, and it's the comp plan, and it's this, and it's that. Guys, I'm going to tell you this. You want to be free in life, and you want to take a burden off yourself, never, ever blame anyone for what is happening to you. Every decision, I have made more stupid decisions in my life and got myself into more harebrained deals. But you know what I realized? Every one of them I made the decision to do. Nobody held a gun to my head. But if you take responsibility, you become free. If you take responsibility for your business today, you will never, ever be subject to anyone else controlling your destiny. You know, John Kennedy, when the Bay of Pigs happened, he got on national TV and he said this, whether you like the politics or not, he said, the Bay of Pigs was a debacle and I take full responsibility for it. That is leadership. Renee? It's not necessary to understand everything to be able to use everything. Good Lord, think about today. I don't even know what the heck Bob Ruff was talking about. I mean, he was talking about pay this and that, and we got, I mean, we've got more acronyms in this industry than you can shake a stick at. We got enrollments and core enrollments and, brokers, and you can be a ADM or a PSAM or a PSAMM. I mean, guys, you could spend your whole life trying to learn everything about this business and never do anything. What you need to understand is this. If you go out and talk to a business owner and said, Mr. Business Owner, are you concerned with the high cost of health care? That's all you have to know. And when they say yes, you can run back and get Bob Agani or Daryl or David Shell, and we'll go in and do the rest for you. We cannot let fear hold us back because we don't think we know enough, because we will never know enough. We'll never know everything. It's impossible, guys. Okay? We don't need to know everything to be able to use everything. People are our greatest resource. You know, guys, there was a study done by Hewlett-Packard. They took their top 18 executives. There was a book, In Search of Greatness, by Thomas Peters. He wrote about this research that was done at Hewlett-Packard. Now, this is a company on the cutting edge of technology in America. Do you know what they said their #1 resource for their future of their company was? The people that work for them. It wasn't the technology, it wasn't the software they had, it was the people. You and I are in a people business. At least we say we are. Most of us, if I went around and talked to you and we've visited, you tell me I'm a people person. That's why we get in this business. But here's the question I'll ask you. Are you a people person only if you're going to make a buck off it? Or are you a people person because you truly love people? Are you a people person when you're in line at the 7-Eleven and the little girl's having a hard time because some jerk ahead of you is yelling at her because it took 2 minutes more than he wanted? Do you take a minute and say something nice to her? Guys, that's what about being a people person is. It's loving other people and not expecting something in return. Our business is based on people, guys. We have to understand that. But we've got to be in the core of our hearts true people, if that makes sense. Work is play. Mark Twain said this, to make your vocation your vacation is success. Guys, I want you to think about what we do. We get up in the morning when we wanna, Bagani, if we wanna, right? We put our finest clothes on if we wanna, and we go out and talk to people if we wanna. And we do the same thing the next day, and they'll pay us $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year. We can have a beach house. We can send our kids to college. We can take vacation when we want. Guys, how can you not enjoy and love doing this business? And I'm going to tell you this right now. If you do not love this and you do not have fun doing it, go do something else. Life is too short. But when you can get up and, people say to me a lot of times, Bob, when are you going to retire? Retire from what? I mean, where do I retire from? I'm going to have a colostomy bag and a walker, and I'm going to be go out there talking to people. I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing to retire from. I get joy from doing what I do because we help people, we make friends with people, and we change people's lives. With a punch of a key button on a computer, you can change a family's life forever. Work is play. There is no success without commitment. Anna Pavlova, the great Russian ballerina, said this. She said, to follow without halt one aim, that is success. Guys, I think the Achilles tendon in life is that people are not committed to things. No one wants to commit anymore. If we're not committed to something, we're committed to nothing. If you're going to do this business with this company, then get committed all the way. Be committed to learn the things that you saw today. Be committed to go out and talk to the business owners and to share our story. Be committed to go to the brokers and talk to the brokers. But be committed in your life to your family, to your church. Guys, there is nothing wrong with commitment. Commitment will breed success in our lives. I absolutely believe that. Renee? I want to share my favorite poem. It was by Calvin Coolidge. It says, nothing can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Guys, when we are persistent in what we do in our lives, whether it's with colonial life, whether it's with whatever endeavor you choose to take at some point in your life, if you don't quit and you develop core values like I just talked to you about, Tony Robbins interviewed hundreds and thousands of successful men and women, and they all had the same values in their life. If we're persistent and consistent, we cannot fail in life, guys. Guys, thank you. We're going to give away $150 in some bags. I love you guys, and I appreciate what you do so much. Thank you, Barbara, for coming in, Kim.